Well, hello, everybody. This is a first for Diana and I. We're doing a recording for this new moon in Sagittarius on the 19th of December, the last moon of the year. Oh, let me get my camera fixed.
Y'all
Sorry,
must be
guys. It's just
surprised to see me,
tilted.
right?
Okay.
Everybody's surprised to see
And
me.
then,
Right?
yeah, see that.
Well,
And
the
Diana was
best
supposed to
laid
have
plan,
the surgery today.
the best laid plans of mice and
Uh,
men. And here we are.
Diana,
Uh-oh,
we keep.
you're the one. Now you were the one freezing up.
Well, you were freezing the whole time. The only thing I heard was the best laid, and then you went away. So
Best laid
okay,
plans of mice and men. And then you
okay, so,
started freezing up. It's just the wind, and it is screwing. And 3i Atlas, we're in the perihelion, and the remnants of those M-class flares, and the big boom chakalaka that went off on the far side of the sun, that wrapped around it and is headed this way anyway.
yeah,
So we
yeah.
have all this wind is from those flares.
Yep. The solar, yeah, that solar uh, activity is no joke, and it's been ramping up a lot. And
Yes.
and here we are, right after this whole year, and Diana and I have been, encouraging everyone to stay steady. It was a very hard year. It was a releasing year because it's a 9 year, and we're still releasing, and that's probably, that's going to keep going on even when we get to the 1 year next year, but it's not going to be as intense, I don't think. That's how I'm getting the information. This is the third new moon at 28 degrees. We have six of them, and the last one is 2 days before spring equinox. So to
But
me,
this one's on the
I'm,
galactic center.
yeah. But once we get on to the spring equinox, that to me is like that's all systems go. We're rolling into the new era. Up until then, we're still in this release period. We're still in cultivating who we are. Like Diana just said, we're on the galactic center. This new moon is on the galactic center, which is, I mean, it is where we receive higher consciousness information from spirit. It's one of the four spots in the chart, and it flows in, and it's flowing in because there's all these connections, right? So you got to look at it like everybody's talking to everybody else, and they're updating humanity and us individually on our next part of our journey, right? The next best step. But we're still closing down, and we're still, Sagittarius is about belief, about your vision. Do you believe in your vision? Or do you tell yourself, I can't because I don't have money or whatever? Go ahead.
Oh, well, this is all bringing us into the Sabian symbols, in case
Yes,
you didn't know it.
go ahead. I don't know. Tell me.
Well, oh, all right. Well, I'm going to back up. I'm going to back up to the 26th, okay? Because that's really when this phase entered the fourth realm of this phase of the Sabian symbols.
Okay.
Okay, so on the 26 degrees, the sun is at 26 degrees of Sagittarius. And consider the fact that the moon, of course, is traveling through there as well. They just weren't conjunct, perfectly conjunct as they are now. And that perfect conjunction's at 9:40 this evening or something like that, right?
8:43. 8:43.
8:43.
Yeah.
Okay, so when we think of 26 degrees of Sagittarius, the image we have is a flag bearer in a time of war. And think back to the old times, especially, that flag bearer represents the community that he is carrying the flag for. The hidden community that isn't all there on the battlefield with him, but he takes that into his into his duty, into his responsibility to represent the whole nation.
It's
Okay.
his being, yeah.
So
Like,
when it goes to 27 degrees, you think of a sculptor at work who is now taking his visions and putting them into play, sculpting and,
mm-hmm.
and creatively exploring one's own individuality that is within inside of the community
Yes.
that the flag bearer is carrying for us. Now,
Beautiful.
we look at it at 28 degrees, and now we think of an old bridge that is still in continuous use. So think about how many places you go and you can see old covered bridges or just wide open foot bridges over things, but old bridges, one way or the other, that are still in use. And what this represents is the enduring elements of society. It's the ability to significantly link that flag bearer to the sculptor.
Yeah.
And bring together all of these things that we're thinking of, right?
Yeah.
And the genius of the individualist in the everyday needs of the collective.
Mm-hmm.
So important. These are such beautiful stories. I recommend this book to everybody just for the visual year and what these little things that are words that are put together in here ever so eloquently can help you understand about astrology. So tomorrow, when it's at 29 degrees, as the sun traverses and the moon's going to go a little faster, right? Mm-hmm. When it is at 29 degrees, we think of this is the way it says it, so I'm going to say it. We think of a fat boy mowing his lawn at his family home on a beautiful street in the suburbs. Now, what this lesson is that the need of everyday tasks which both ensure social worthiness and reconstruction, right, and respectability, because you're out there mowing your lawn where everybody's going to see it, right? That especially that front lawn, you want that lawn appeal, curb appeal, as they say. But it is the benefit of the physical activity of going out there to mow your lawn after overindulgence. Okay? So you have to tend to your garden. You splurge, and this is Jupiter. And what does Jupiter do? He rules Sagittarius, right? So this is Jupiter at his last hurrah moment going, okay, let's overindulge. Let's have a dozen donuts, and now let's go mow the lawn to work it off.
Right. Right. Yeah, because you did all this. You know, a lot of Sagittarius is also receiving downloads, higher learning, things like that, right? So we're getting all this stuff, and now it's like, okay, now let's integrate it. Let's pull it all together inside of us, right?
Well, I got to share the last degree, which, of course, in the book is looked at as 30 degrees because it is the 30th degree of Sagittarius, but it's also the 0 degree of Capricorn. So it is a merged degree, right? So at 30 degrees of Sagittarius, now what we have now is the Pope blessing the faithful. And this is the need to pay homage and to traditional values upon which the invisible community of spirit, it's not necessarily about religion, it is the invisible community of spirit that had faith, and that is what it's built on. And who becomes the Pope but the flag bearer who is taking up the banner for everybody to begin with and carrying the spirit of the community onto the battlefield.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
And that really, you know, if we think about what the sigil is for Sagittarius, it's that arrow going forward, right? Which he's a warrior, he's a centaur, he's a warrior. He's off, you know, to make sure that everything runs smoothly, entertaining. He operates under Jupiter's power, and with that Jupiter power, he can be overindulgent himself, right?
Mm-hmm.
So what a beautiful story is told in these final days of Sagittarius. And it really makes sense.
Yeah, it does. And I love how the Sabian symbols do that. They give you, they lay out the story for us, because right here we go into that we're going into our sovereignty. I see it like that at 30 degrees, because of all we learned up until this point this year. You know what you prefer, and you know what is leaving. You know that what has got to be let go. A lot of things we had to let go, maybe we didn't want to, but it just faded away. That's what's happening now.
Right.
Everything that is not for us is fading away. It's dissipating. It's preparing the new pavement, right, for our new way forward. It is, you've lightened up, you've learned a lot. Now, where is it that you are choosing to take your energy, yourself? And this is where the cool thing about Sagittarius, because it's a vision, it's dreaming, it's calling in where that arrow's pointing, and believing. This is the biggest part of it, believing that you can attain that without any ifs, buts, doubts, ands. I'm not saying that's going to be 100% for everybody, and it's not going to, we're all still working at this, but this is what this season does for us. It helps us hone in on what it is, where we prefer to go, but where we are still creating and believing. But the believing is the important part. To have the faith to be who you are, to say, here in our community, especially, we're higher consciousness, light workers, love workers, energy workers. We've all been stripped. I know throughout my life, I've been stripped of everything I ever was to get to who this is now. But I still don't know what I'm creating for my future, for the new era. I'm trusting. And there's another part.
Wow.
I'm trusting in spirit to lead me the way, because I listen to my spirit, my heart, and I do my best to follow the guidance.
I drew a couple of cards from this old deck, of this angel deck, the Angel Oracle deck, and I've got to show you these. They're fantastic. Which this particularly goes right along with what we've just been talking about and what the Sabian symbols are. It is the angel of power, who is Ramiel, okay? The power of divine love protects and enfolds me. And it is the complete circle, right? It's the complete circle. Now, in that, we have this Sun conjunct Venus, and of course the moon still has play in here as well. And in that Sun conjunct Venus is definitely all about the Venus and Sun that are parallel. Pluto is about the powerful connections being made. The conversations, don't rush, be who you want to be the you know you are. And that Venus is also taking us into a new 30-day cycle with her conjunction to the Sun.
This is important. That's an important point that you're making, because Venus with the sun and the moon on the galactic center is in Sagittarius, is asking you authentically what is it you love and value, and let's make it happen. Have the belief, because here we are in the sign of belief and faith. Have the belief that whatever your dream is going to unfold for you. Because you're working on that energy, you're preparing it energetically out. As we do that, our spirit teams and spirit open the doors for us to go into the new realms, to the new areas that we haven't traveled before, right? And this is another thing about this moon, as it's the last moon of the year.
Right.
This is a portal. This is a huge doorway. We are being transported to our preferred timeline as we go into next year. So
Well,
really,
I looked up the Sabian symbol because Uranus is with Jupiter working on a finger of God with the Sun Moon conjunction in Sagittarius. Okay. So we have a yod going on.
Yes.
And the Sabian symbol for Uranus at 28 degrees of Taurus is, this is cool. It's a woman who has gone past menopause, meeting a new lover.
Oh, whoa.
And Venus rules Taurus.
Mm-hmm.
So I just thought that was just too cool.
That is cool. But the lover, right? The lover could also be something you're passionate about.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
right. But
anything.
The way the Sabian symbol is making it, it's like you get that mature love for the first time in your life where it's going to be better. And the other card I got was Raphael. And I'm sorry, I showed the trust card, which is important because that was part of the Sabian symbols also. But the other card I got was Raphael, who is all about the healing, which is so much of what's going in this sky today, let alone how it impacted my chart. And everybody knows that it was, in my mind, it was the perfect day to have my hip replacement done. Well, it was a perfect day, but not for the hip replacement, for other things related to my physical health and getting the story straight. And somehow or another, Aaron asked me, he's here with me, and he asked me if I was getting excited. I said yes, but I didn't really believe it when I answered him. I didn't have that, ooh, this is going to be different. I've got to get ready. I've got to have this. Like I still hadn't brought down the clothes I need down here and a toothbrush and all that other stuff, So I'm just saying things can change, but the perspective is still this. No, the perspective has changed, but the outcome was still the same. It is still all health related.
Yes.
And what happened was I had an incident, an event. It lasted less than a minute. I have no history of this. I went into AFib. You don't understand the kind of drugs they gave me in order to make my heart act as if I were on a treadmill running. Okay, because with my hip, I can't do a treadmill. I can't run on a treadmill for a stress test. And then the truth of the matter was I passed the stress test. Nothing was unusual about the stress test. My heart healed itself. They approved me for the surgery. But somewhere along the line, the communication broke down between the doctors. And in so doing, they're the ones who canceled, the other doctors involved were the ones who canceled my surgery and not the attendee who said there is absolutely no reason for you to not have this. So it's a fluke. It happened because of what they gave me.
And this is a prime example. In her chart, she has Sagittarius,
Chiron and Moon.
And Moon in Sagittarius, right on the
conjunct. Same degree, 2 minutes of arc apart. I mean, there's no different. They're conjunct.
So let's explain that. That's a Chiron is the healer, the healing, something
Yep.
going on with
With the
healing.
wounded hip. And look, I walked away with a wounded hip.
With in the third house, miscommunication.
Yep.
So these things in reading astrology is layers upon layers upon layers upon layers, and we never have all the facts. And pretty much astrology is you look at it in hindsight and you see what transpired, right? So in in my view, and I think in Diana's view now that she has to wait a little bit, I feel it'll be more into January, later January, where the energies will be a lot different than they are now. Right now, it's
Well,
very powerful and it's
I know.
very
This is,
fiery, right? It's fast and furious. And
yep. And the thing is I have to wear a monitor for 2 weeks, and then it takes 2 weeks for them to get the results back from the company that you wear the monitor for. Many of you probably have had to go through that, so you know what that's like. And in that having been said, if it puts me into February, I can pick the date because the doctor says, what date do you want? So I can pick the date. And as long as when we have Aries, when we have Saturn and Neptune both in Aries, now they're in the sign that my North Node is in, and my Sedna. So now, I mean, it's still, I got all these new partners, all this new stuff. And today was a good day to maybe you have to see a doctor. And today I had to go and pick up the monitor. So I did see the doctor's office. And I was with a doctor yesterday because my advocate is my best buddy from teenager years. And she became my advocate, and she knows all these doctors that are involved with my health. So it's just changed the perspective, like the Hanged Man. And I have to tell you, I have been pulling the Hanged Man for over a week. It has been showing up somewhere in my cards. And this morning when I did a Celtic cross out of the Seasons of the Witch Christmas Winter tarot deck, which is fabulous. When I did a Celtic cross on the whole situation, almost every single numerical wand card showed up. And believe me, I've used these cards a lot. For them to show up, I mean, I couldn't believe it. And then when I just cut the deck, when I was done and looked at it, it was the Ace of Wands.
Oh, wow. So, new beginning, yeah.
And you can't make this up.
No, you can't. And that's just it, right? You hear how Diana looks at every detail, every synchronicity. This is how I live my life too, because spirit is always talking to us in every one of those details. And if you're paying attention, you're going to understand how to follow, go along, however you want to look at it. Your divine intelligence, your intuition is there to assist you, to assist us through every moment of life. Even if you feel like, well, I don't need help with this is silly, every moment, that's what they're there for. And Diana knows how to read those and how to interpret what she's getting, right? And I mean, that's what we all do, right? We're astrologers, we're psychics, intuitives, mediums, we're card readers. We have all these tools available to us, and it is in our highest best interest to utilize those tools as often as possible. And when Diana was talking about the Chiron and Jupiter in the new moon chart are trining. So this is a beautiful, Jupiter's in Cancer, the ruler, this Jupiter's ruler of this new moon in Sagittarius, but Jupiter's in Cancer. Chiron's in Aries, the self, the I am, emotional healing. This is emotionally shedding, this is probably they're going to be sticking together for a few days, and definitely it's going to be releasing things for you, and
for sure.
go for it because as and then when you were talking, Diana, I was like, well, let me pull a card because you were talking about your cards. And I got the Gateway of Light Activation, Kyle Gray, and
Ah.
look which one I pulled, Diana. Third Eye Activation.
Oh, Third
Brow,
Eye Atlas.
yeah, chakra, inner vision, clear seeing. Right. This right now, this alignment with the sun, moon, galactic center, Venus, and third eye Atlas closest to Earth is opening up our entire, I mean, our vision is and this is what Sagittarius rules, right? The higher vision. Your insight is so on point right now. Really take heed of that. Listen to the downloads you're getting, the information you're receiving. It's important. I just wanted to say it is okay. Let's see. An activated third eye. This gateway is here. This you have an innate ability to see further than human eyes are able to identify and energies of what is going on around you with your activated third eye. Now, you really do. And this is, this is just going to keep flowing in because we're in this huge portal. We are in the 1212
Right.
portal. We're in this, it's like a solar crystalline portal. I think it's called from 1212 to 120, 2026. But let's just stick right here. We have all this activity today, and in 2 days, we have the winter solstice. This is the time we go in. This is
Well,
where, okay, we're still in these 28 degrees. We got 3 more of these 28-degree new moons. Let's go within, get clarity on what it is that you want to experience, what you prefer to experience. They don't like the word want.
that's
And
why I definitely had to put all of those Sabian symbols in because we're going into Capricorn on the 20th or on the 21st, I mean, which is 2 days away. And so there and where's the moon going to be? In Capricorn. Where's the sun going to be? In Capricorn, but the moon will be a little bit ahead of the sun. So there's so much of this going on, and it is the big planets that are farther out there, including Pluto, because he's a big player, even though he may be small in stature. And like you are, everybody, like Jupiter is on, or Pluto is on my Jupiter in Aquarius. So, I mean, stops and starts. Just everything that has been going on is kind of still going on. But you know that this is the bird taking off. This is the horse getting out of the gate and being the winner. We're headed in this direction.
yeah.
Going to happen. You just got to wait for them to open the gate. And that is about to happen. That gate is about to happen.
It's open. It really is. It's open because in what is it, January 11th, we go into the year of the fire horse.
Yeah.
Right now is Sagittarius, who is the centaur, and he's fire sign. So this is a lot.
February 17th is when.
I'm sorry, it was in February, but this is all coming in together, right? This is why this moment is so important because it is a fiery Sagittarius, half horse, half man centaur, going into the Chinese New Year of the fire horse on the 17th of February. That's what you said? Okay, so look, that fire is creation energy. That is, burn away what's not going with you and bring forward what it is you want. And it's going to happen fast. The minute you decide is when doors start to open. You know that's true, Diana. The minute you decide you're on your whatever it is, and this is what I'm saying, use your guides. Well, consult with your guides, don't use them. Consult with your guides in every moment because this is what they're there for. And especially at this time period right here, we're closing down the old era, getting ready to go into the new era. All of us are, and let's look at it like this, like we don't have all the energy here, the frequencies here. Our frequencies we've never experienced as we've been alive on Earth. They're higher frequencies. There's more to it. There's it's easier to access. It's easier to get things going. It's just you deciding, trusting, having faith, and believing in that. And once you do that, your team opens up those doors because you're not, you're listening to your heart. That's your team talking to you.
Yeah.
And at winter solstice, I just want to say this: on the 21st is at 10:03 a.m. So this is powerful time. This is, I mean,
Yeah.
and when 12:12 to 12:21 is huge portal. And it's every year. We're closing down. We're closing down, but at the same time, we release to receive. Constant. It's constant.
Yeah. So, right. I mean, we've got all of these conjunctions. We've got the sun and moon conjunct, but we've also got them conjunct Venus and conjunct Mars. So what are we thinking about the most? We have energy, courage, competition, completion, new opportunities for love, and, you know,
And,
learn,
and
we've learned what the rewards can be.
yeah,
This is the end of the year. This is the end of a 9-year, which makes it even better because now we're closing this 10-year. We're closing a decade. We're closing out
Hallelujah.
we're closing out when the sun gets hidden by the moon or the moon gets hidden by the sun, right? I mean, we're closing out all the eclipses from September. They're being closed right now as well.
Yeah.
And then we can go back. I mean, there's so many different cycles we can look at. We can look at the gestation cycle of the moon, and there's a cycle there that's closing also with a 9-month cycle. So we've got all of these new things coming. We've got the sun and the moon squaring Saturn. Which news do you want first? The good news or the bad news? The bad news is frustration over delays. Hello, a little bit, but the good news is going to be short-lived. So even 2 months is short-lived in the medical field, right? And then with the Neptune thing, the big influence there is, do you feel out of sorts? Do you know why? Well, guess what? The reason is there's just so much confusion.
That's right.
Boy, isn't there? I mean, we can just, whether we look at politics or just the everyday confusion that sets in during the holiday season.
And that's Neptune.
We should be used to it.
Yeah, that's Neptune at 29, right? And we are kind of used to that foggy, that this, just don't know what's going on. But this is the reason why it is so important to go inside. Trust your gut, trust your team. We're going into winter solstice anyway, where it is time to go inside. I mean, this whole year is about going inside because we're releasing so much. But right now, as we're closing it down, it's really important to bring information into your energy bodies that bring you joy. If you're looking at the news, and I do this, I'm guilty, and I'm like this, what's the latest crappy thing to say? I mean, you're polluting your own energy field. Think about it like that. You want to keep it clean. You want to keep it higher because you're creating this new version of you. And as you do that, we all do that individually. We're creating humanity's new version of humanity, and this is our way forward. This is what we're here for as light workers, right? Love workers, energy workers. This is why we're here. So that old construct, that old political stuff is designed to rope you in, hook you, and drag you down.
Yeah.
Please be aware of that.
Well, and so that sensitivity is coming from the fact that the sun and moon are trining Chiron, right? And there's emotions attached to that. And also this is a time of having to say goodbye. And look, I lost my bird last week. She died last Thursday. Others have lost pets along the way. And Aaron and Moira had a very busy week last week, so their animals had to be boarded. And it was discovered that their cat has cancer, and they had to amputate one of his toes because of it. And now today, it turns out that the dog is sick as well from what, did the dog get a cold, or did it eat something at this, at where he was boarded, or where she was boarded? They don't know yet, because she was on her way to the vet with the
Yeah.
dog.
And,
So
and see how that stuff is coming up, right? That kind of stuff. It's like life is going to keep life in, and we're here to stabilize through that, which is not easy. That's not easy to do. You lose a pet sick, or lose a pet, or lose a family member. However it goes, it's never ever easy. But I wanted to go back to Neptune. That Neptune at 29 degrees Pisces, right, the last degree of the zodiac,
yeah,
is it is, you can use it two ways. You can either stay in delusion, stay deluded, believe things that you know aren't for you or do not go on with you, or you can go in and use your intuition. This is perfect. Oh my God, this is like the highest energy you can have to connect to your inner
yeah.
guidance. So kind of keep that in mind when things don't seem like, everything seems foggy. Just go back into your heart. A lot of this with that Venus, is in I'm sorry, Venus, yeah, it's in Sag, close to this new moon. A lot of this stuff can be, where would I put that? Oh no, this is what I wanted to say. I forgot. But Hecate is, okay. Venus is at 24, galactic center is 27, and the moon and the sun were at 28. Hecate is at 27. Now she's a mother goddess, witch goddess, the one who has all those, knows how to work with the elements, knows how to work with this stuff, right? And it says, birth of your own intuition through the liminal crossroads. So know that you're in this really high energy, and there's forces that want to drag you down. But if you stick to yourself and you stick to your, what else is there? That's the Sagittarius thing. Well, what else is there?
Well,
Who else is there? What else is
right.
going on?
What else?
Right?
What else? What else can we learn? And that's a big thing, because of the aspects that Jupiter has going on. He's quincunxing Venus, and that is saying goodbye to loved ones. That's what was going on. Whether they're going, whether it could be a positive thing that is taking them away from you as well, and making it a short-term thing, or just the fact that it's time, or because in reality they have left the planet. And then he's also got a trine to the Saturn and Neptune, which is his own ability to create balance in it and help you create balance in what you are going through, to find a way to have some fun through the work of dealing with emotions, or the work of dealing with work. And then he's got a square going to Chiron, which is facing the painful memories, and those painful memories can turn out to be quite pleasant when you start looking at photographs and old videos of the bird flying into the wall because she thought the mural was real. Oh my God, what a day that was. But Mercury, so I looked up Mercury to see what Mercury has said. It wasn't necessarily about Mercury. It was the 11 degrees of Sag, because that's where Mercury is. And that is, the flag turns into the eagle. This is right. So this is the flag that the flag bearer is carrying at 26 degrees, or was that 26 degrees that he was carrying that? No, where did I put that?
Yeah. And that
26 or 20, yeah, 26.
And that 26 degree Sagittarius galactic center is where we were all born with that in our chart. So remember that.
Right, because that galactic center, like all of these points in the sky, they do shift with the times. And it's 26, 27, 28, even squeaking the tail beginning of 29. but it is in that realm, and it egresses back and forth between those degrees. So just like, like it can be 0 degrees of Virgo, and the next year can be 1 degree of Virgo to have Regulus, so those kind of things come and go and change themselves.
And on that 11 degree Mercury in Sagittarius, that's sitting on Antares. That's coming right. It's 1 degree away from the great attractor. So you got to think of these energies are powerful sitting right there where Mercury is.
Yes.
And the reason why I'm saying that is because on United States birth chart, the Sibley chart, is 13 degrees Sagittarius. Yeah. And with that, when you just said about the flag, about that degree, what was that again for Mercury? Yeah.
It was at 11 degrees. And when he just came off, and I mean, yesterday he was at 9 degrees. Yeah, and when, he was at a lesser degree when I had those tests on Monday, but they were all freaking out. And yesterday when he was at 9 degrees, which is Antares, and the closing of a portal and the resting of souls, it's like you had to rest the argument, but you got everybody on the same page through the argument. Now we can let the argument rest. The truth of the matter is, you cannot lump together all these people who are 75 years old. That's their big freak out, because I'm 75 years old. I've never had an AFib in my life. I freaked them out, but they made it happen because they gave me the option of too much caffeine. But I'm at their mercy. I'm doing what they're telling me to do because they should know better. Right. They should know better than to lump people together without understanding.
But they don't. About that's our medical. That's our medical. America's Medical Association, right? Yeah. They just lump us into categories when we're each individuals. This is like, and I know Diana is very aware of her body and the things that go in it and how it affects her, and if they would stop to ask people, we would, I know she does this because I do it too. Right. We go in and I say, this is what I do. Boom, boom, boom. I'm like, you're going to know, I know myself. You're going to know, I know what I'm here for is this, and why is this happening, or whatever, but this is how we take control back. Right.
Well, and those poor people that work in the hospital are at the mercy of the hospital cook, and hospital food is bullshit. And so they asked me how I drink my coffee. I said, well, do you have some almond milk? No, sorry. All right, I'll take cream. And I'm sure I could taste it once they brought it to me. It was nothing but a jar of coffee mate, which is a bunch of more chemicals that are never in my body.
Coffee mate can be set on fire. Literally, there's so many chemicals in it. Yeah. So, no wonder why I jolted you, because she doesn't ingest stuff like that. It's just not, that she's vegan. She has certain ways of taking care of herself. And this is what they don't understand, right? But let's use her example of the details that we're missing.
That is the prime point of all of this. Seriously, it's not just about me. It's about how looking at your chart can have two meanings, and you need to really look at, and it always makes itself clearer after the event.
Exactly. There's layers and layers and layers and layers of information, and it's like we said before, in hindsight gives you a lot more understanding of it. But these next couple of days are interesting, because with that what we were talking about, all the things that happened to Diana communication wise, with Mercury on America's 13 degree Sagittarius ascendant, there's going to be a lot of things coming out that are going to, it's very confusing anyway, but they're going to be impactful. I'm saying it like that, like whatever is coming up regarding our nation is going to be impactful. It might not be right away, but it'll unfold. We will understand more later. I don't think we're ever really going to understand all of it.
You know, I should have looked at the chart on the 24th, and I should have paid better attention. Of course, this is hindsight, to the nodes. I mean, my nodes are at 24 degrees of Aries in Libra, and the sun was probably at 24 degrees in Sagittarius on Monday, or right about there. And that was throwing a signal over there, which they're still within orb of each other. And then look at the quincunx that's being formed by the transiting nodes in Virgo and Pisces. And I just plain old didn't, and I should have.
But okay, so she's gonna shoulda, woulda, coulda herself, but I'm gonna say don't do that, because that's exactly what this energy is asking us not to do. I think we can all say this. If I'd have known better, I would have done better at any moment in any part of my life, but I didn't, and it was all learning, right? And to me, this is divine intervention for her surgery to come later. But that's my opinion. You know, she's kind of pissed off about it.
But it's true. It's true. You know, I had even wondered about it a couple of times, but I had other things to do, like get that damn bed here. And now the bed's here. I ain't letting it go.
Yeah. That Gemini in her and the Sagittarius in her wants to, let's do it. Let's get it over with. Let's have it happen. Now move on. And I'm going to be doing this and that. And that's okay. We all have
that. I got bees that want my attention. Yeah. I got this and that and the other thing to do.
And we all do that. I mean, that's part of what all this energy is about. It's the more we can focus in and hone in on, okay, and accept, right? We got to accept what's happening to us in the moment on some level, and focus in on what we would prefer to experience. Because as we do that, we bring our frequency in to, I want to experience this. Okay, there's a delay. Well, when the delay, I would like to experience it in grace and ease. However you want to say things like that, just to help yourself.
Because this Mercury traveling so fast, I mean, consider he moves about 2 degrees a day.
Yeah, he's
almost
fast.
All 2 degrees every day. So in his zoom through everything, he is like, yesterday he was at 9. Today he's at 11. Early in the morning, day after tomorrow, he will be at on the Great Attractor.
Mm-hmm. And right, so this moon is with all these things going on. This is us giving a fresh start. Check your beliefs. Examine them. When things come up and it doesn't feel right to you, say, why do I believe that? Why do I, is that in my best interest? Or is it just something I was told and I repeated for 50 years? Because I do that. I know I catch it all the time. And I'm like, well, I don't believe that anymore. So I changed it to what I choose to believe, right? And then we got the 3-eye atlas. To me, that's just bringing in a whole new frequency and elevating Earth, elevating our entire solar system. Yeah. Something cool is coming in with that. Go ahead. What were you going to say about it?
Well, I was going to say about 3-eye atlas.
Yeah.
Everybody pretty much has heard about my dreams with 3-eye atlas and coming through 1038 and finding 1038 in Booth's constellation. Coming in through Virgo. That's where 1038 is. And guess what? Stefan Burns was on Amrit's. Ortiz he was on with 2 guys, with one. Ortiz was one of them and Amrit's was the other. And one of those he is on with Barbara Hand Clow, and then with the other one he is on with the gal who has taught him about the tuning forks. Mm-hmm. Okay. And so when he was on with her, he says, but first it came through Virgo. Mm-hmm. the first time anybody has ever said something that aligns with what my dreams had told me.
I love that when you get clarification
I
and
mean,
confirmation.
it's like, did you listen to my videos? Is that why we're in this place where you are bringing in, and how it finally makes sense? Because that's where it had to come from. And everything that spinning is doing is what is everything that they're talking about now. And now it has a golden appearance to it.
I didn't get a chance to check in on all the new videos he did. But yeah, if you want to stay up to date on 3i Atlas, definitely check Stephen Burns out. He is amazing. Yep. And then we got the solstice, right? Then we got Mars in Capricorn right now. And see, this is the cool part about all of this, because whatever your dream is, whatever it is that you see is your new self, in this new life. Mars is gonna make it happen in Capricorn, because Mars is making stuff happen. Okay, so then Venus enters Capricorn on forgot to talk about Mars out of bounds. Mars is out of bounds,
and the moon's still out of bounds too.
Yeah, and
the moon's gonna go void, so take tomorrow off.
Yeah, and what does that mean, guys? Out of bounds. That means they don't go by the rules. There aren't any rules. They're going to do what they want to do when they want to do it, and that's all there is to it. And then Venus is going to follow suit. But does she go out of bounds as soon as she enters?
She's only in for a little while, but they both come out of bounds on January 2nd.
6th, yeah. So, and she's
I'm sorry, January 4th. January 4th.
4th? Or okay.
4th.
So Venus in Capricorn is honestly being an adult on making your decisions on what it is you've sifted through up until this time. Because in Sagittarius, she's like, everything is there, everything is fun, So think about it. Take your time and make intentional choices from your heart.
I think she goes out of bounds on the 24th when she enters Capricorn, but she's only in out of bounds territory.
I think you're right. Yeah. January 4th, 6th, one of those two, 4th or 6th. I don't have. You told me the other day, and I completely forgot. But the thing is, Mars, Venus. Okay, Venus isn't there yet, but Mars and the moon out of bounds right now with all the stuff we're talking about.
Yeah,
but they can drive this train anywhere they want to, and
he's been out of bounds for a while, like the end of November, I think.
Yeah, and the thing is, though, that out of bounds in these new energies is bringing in new actions, higher consciousness actions. This isn't the old. We're not doing the old play anymore. We're not doing those old tired plays. They don't work. We know they don't work. All of us can sit here and look at most of the stuff going on, going, when are people gonna just let it all go? None of that stuff works. It hasn't, right? So I wanted to say I pulled another card. Well, pulled two, which was interesting. This is Unicorn deck. I got rebirth, reinvent yourself, give life to your dreams, create a new reality. This is exactly what we're doing. We're being asked to do this now, and it's going to play out until the spring equinox. So just, maybe even longer, but I'm saying there's no hurry.
Yeah.
But you will feel that sense of let's get it done, especially when Chinese New Year fire horse comes in. And then I got adventure. So look at that. This is an adventure. We're in a space we've never been before. We can
spend 2,400 years since we've been in this space.
Right. And we could create anything. But again, remember, all those frequencies are coming in. So you're not dealing with the absolute, these are my only choices. it's wide open, and and then the other two are out of bounds. It's crazy. It's
Yeah.
magic. Do a ceremony today. Burn some sage. Do a
Yeah.
release ceremony. Call in a receiving ceremony. Do a cinnamon ceremony. Salt your doorways. Um, speak speak magic into reality. And
Yeah.
I have abracadabra. I keep getting like abracadabra really is. You say that when you make a statement, it creates magic, doesn't it?
And I can't help but hear Steve Miller singing abracadabra.
I love it. I love it. Oh my God. Let's just see if we got anything else. We talked about Antares. This is intense waters.
Well, that's important. The Antares and Aldebaran axis itself, because one is the golden portal to come in, which is Aldebaran, which is the eye of Taurus, the bull, but we see it through. We're doing Western astrology, so we see it through Gemini and Sagittarius, and not the Taurus and Scorpio. Okay, but both are correct. Both are correct.
Mm-hmm. And that's just it, right? It is, and there you got to think of this too. Even those royal fixed stars are ascending. They're
Right.
becoming more than what we've known them to be. But I did want to talk about the new moon. Plant your seeds. It's all about belief and discernment. Discern. But that intense water, because of the water. Look at the flooding. Look at the winds that are gusting across.
Yeah.
I mean, there's just a lot of weather stuff, and that's that solar activity too. Make sure I got everybody. My goodness.
Well, and that's not going to let up, because what went off on the backside of the sun yesterday,
right,
that wrapped around the sun that is hitting us is creating this wind that we have. And that is getting ready to rotate in front of us and be aiming directly at us, because it is on the equatorial sun.
It's so crazy. And remember, the 3 days of darkness starts with the winter storm. Today, right? So this is the resurrection. This is, our we're being activated. Our hearts are being activated. Have a prepared heart. I don't know why I wrote that down, but I kept getting this. I kept seeing like a sacred, like a passageway, like it's a sacred passageway, and the doors will appear, like the portals will appear when you, based on your consciousness, your belief system. So this is why it's so important to dream big, go big. Believe in yourself, believe in your dream. All the old is closing down. Let it go. Just let it go. The light of unity arises. Unified activations. I don't know where I got that. But I hope all this makes sense, guys. We love you. And
yeah, you've got a show. They just let me know you've got a live show in 30 minutes.
That's okay. I have time. Sagittarius is the truth, and the truth, you're being honest with yourself, is the most important truth there is. Because once you have that conquered, you can create anything you want. That higher inspiration that Sagittarius brings in really is powerful, and can create a whole new world for us. Epic. These are just epic. We're living through epic times. And the next moon is a full moon on the 4th, I think, Diana.
That sounds about right.
In Cancer. So that's going to have a lot to do with Jupiter's. It's at 13 degrees, but
because Jupiter's there in Cancer.
Yeah. And you start the year out going into where's your safety and security, what gives you that comfort, that nurturing. We all want that. This new year is going to be much different than this last year. And whenever Dinah, we'll probably, I don't know, are you do you want to do a New Year thing, or you just want to do the full moon?
Well, Aaron's going to stay with me through Christmas, but then he's going to go home. We could do a New Year thing. I would like that.
Okay.
We could do the moon at the same time if you want.
Yeah. Yeah, that sounds good. Yeah.
So I pulled the midnight card, which here we go into solstice. It's the number 19 card. That's perfect for this. And the other card that came out was we're going into the number 1 year, right? We've got the Winter Witch.
Oh, I love it. I love it. Yeah. I mean, you know, where everything is energy, guys, and there's two choices: love or fear. Give yourself the presence to go big. Go for your biggest dreams. Believe in yourself. It's so important that we open up to what we can't see, and that's where it gets hard, right? Because we can't see it yet, but it's there if we just give it just a little bit. Spirit will open the doors. All right. We love you very much. Love you. We love you. We love you. We'll see you,
everybody. Mwah.
Yeah. Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and we will see you on the New Year's. Around New Year's.
Coming up soon. Yeah.
Thank you, Diana, for coming on. I appreciate
thank you too. I love you.
I love you too. We love you.